It's 3:12 in the morning. Again, you're awake. Not because of noise, not because of pain, just awake. You lie there still, hoping sleep might come back, but instead, your mind starts racing, your body tenses up, and you wonder, why does this keep happening to me? If you're a woman over 60 and this sounds familiar, you're not alone, and you're not broken. I'm Dr. Margaret Hayes, and today I'm sharing 5 gentle, doctor-approved tricks that have helped thousands of women just like you finally sleep through the night again. It's 3:42 a.m., and you're staring at the ceiling again. You've flipped the pillow so many times it could star in a dance routine. The sheets have been tugged and straightened. You've tried every position known to man, and you're convinced if you just lie perfectly still, sleep will find its way back. But it doesn't. And now your shoulders feel stiff, your back is sore, and your mind is spinning faster than a grocery store fan. Here's a gentle truth that might surprise you sometimes. The best way to fall back asleep isn't to lie still. It's to move just a little. After decades working with older adults, I've seen how the body stores tension like a sponge holds water. The longer we stay frozen in bed, the tighter we feel. Muscles knot up, breathing shallows, and the frustration grows. What your body needs isn't more stillness, it needs permission to release. That's why I often recommend what I call a nighttime reset. These are simple, gentle stretches designed specifically for older bodies, no twisting like a pretzel, or standing on one leg. Just slow, mindful movements that send a signal to your nervous system. We're safe now. It's okay to rest. Start with your neck. While lying on your back, slowly turn your head to one side, as if you're politely declining a second slice of pie. Hold it for a few seconds, then return to center. Repeat on the other side. Feel that subtle stretch? That's tension starting to let go. Next, lift your shoulders toward your ears like you're mimicking a cartoon character who just heard a juicy secret, then let them drop completely. Try it a few times. There's something powerful in physically releasing what you've been holding in. If your back is tight, sit up at the edge of your bed or lean forward slightly while still in bed. Picture yourself reaching for a cozy pair of slippers. This forward bend gently stretches your spine and can ease that dull ache that creeps in overnight. And for those restless legs that feel like they've got their own agenda, give them a little shake, like you're flicking off crumbs from a picnic blanket. No need for precision, just enough to invite them to relax. Finally, here's a small trick my grandfather used to swear by. Rub your hands together until they're warm, then place them gently over your chest, shoulders, or even your stomach anywhere you feel tight or uneasy. That warmth? It's a message your body recognizes: comfort, calm, safety. What makes these movements so effective isn't that they're perfectly performed. It's the intentionality behind them. You're reminding your body how to soften. You're reintroducing ease where tension has taken hold. I once had a patient named Ron, a retired electrician from Minnesota, who told me he was skeptical when I first suggested this. At my age, I thought stillness was sacred, he chuckled. But after trying the nighttime reset for just 1 week, he said, it's like I stopped fighting my body and started listening to it instead. Now, he swears by his little routine, and he sleeps better because of it. So next time your clock reads some impossible hour and sleep feels miles away, don't stay stuck in the frustration. Try moving, gently, slowly, intentionally. You might be surprised how quickly your body responds when you treat it with just a bit of care. And if you've discovered your own nighttime stretch or calming movement, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Who knows, your tip might be the one that helps someone else find their way back to peaceful rest. It's 3:28 a.m. and your eyes open not because of a sound, not because you're in pain, but because something in your chest feels full. Not physically, but emotionally. You're not sure why, but your heart feels heavy, like it's trying to tell you something it didn't have a chance to say earlier. I've seen this more times than I can count. In my 40 years as a physician working with women in their golden years, I've learned that these wake-ups often carry emotional messages. Not problems to be solved on the spot, but feelings that have been patiently waiting for a quiet moment to be heard. During the day, our lives are full. We cook, care for others, scroll through news, maybe catch a show or two. The background noise of daily living drowns out the subtler signals of the heart. But at night, When the world goes still, your emotions find space to rise. They're not intruding, they're revealing. You might be surprised how often people wake in the night, not because of physical discomfort, but because of unprocessed emotions. A study published in the journal Sleep Health found that older adults experiencing chronic stress or unresolved grief were 43% more likely to experience interrupted sleep. The connection between emotional health and rest runs deeper than most people realize. So what do you do when you wake up with that quiet ache in your chest? Instead of pushing it away, try gently listening. I call it the nighttime peace plan, and it's helped many of my patients find rest, not by forcing sleep, but by making room for their feelings. Start by simply naming what you feel. You don't need to analyze it. Just give it a name. I'm worried about my daughter. I miss how things used to be. I feel overwhelmed by all the changes lately. When we name our feelings, we give them shape, and when they have shape, they often lose their edge. Next, keep a small notepad by your bed. Nothing fancy, just something you can grab without turning on bright lights. Write down the thought or feeling. Even a few words can be enough. Worried about doctor's visit. Miss seeing grandkids. Lonely tonight. The act of writing them down transfers the burden from your mind to the page. Then, take a few long, steady breaths. Inhale for 4 counts. Exhale for 6. It's not just about calming your mind. It tells your nervous system, we're okay. You're safe. You can let go now. I remember Helen, a 69-year-old former nurse from Ohio, who told me she hadn't had a full night's sleep in months. It's like my brain has a to-do list. It brings out at 3 a.m., she said. Once she started using the peace plan, she began waking up less, and when she did, she knew what to do. Just naming what I felt made it smaller, she told me. It didn't solve everything, but it gave me space to rest. And if the same thoughts keep visiting night after night, that may be your mind's way of asking for extra help. Persistent emotional wakefulness can sometimes signal depression, anxiety, or deeper grief. There's no shame in seeking support. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself is to say, I need someone to walk through this with me. Your sleep and your emotions are connected. Like 2 old friends, they talk to each other all night long. And sometimes the path to rest isn't silence but gentle listening. Have you ever noticed certain thoughts or feelings wake you in the night? I'd love to hear what helps you find peace during those quiet hours. Your story might help someone else feel less alone in the dark. It's 3:12 a.m. and you wake up feeling oddly parched. Your mouth is dry, your legs are twitchy, and there's a faint warmth in your body that doesn't match the coolness of the room. You might chalk it up to bad luck or just another rough night, but what if the real issue is dehydration? We don't talk about this enough. Your hydration habits can deeply affect your sleep. And as we age, our bodies become less efficient at storing and managing water. Think of it like comparing a brand new sponge to one that's been sitting by the sink for years. The older one dries out faster and needs more regular dampening. You may think you drink plenty of water, but even if you're carrying a water bottle around all day, your body might still be dehydrated by the time your head hits the pillow. One big reason? Medications. Common prescriptions for blood pressure, heart conditions, or arthritis often act as diuretics, meaning they cause the body to release more fluids. That means even with your regular hydration routine, you may be ending your day at a deficit and your body knows it. Often it sends that signal loud and clear, right around 3 a.m. Of course, chugging a huge glass of water before bed isn't the answer. That just results in more trips to the bathroom at night. The key is to hydrate smart. Start early. Think of hydration like charging your phone. You wouldn't plug it in 5 minutes before leaving the house. Spread your water intake throughout the day, so you're not playing catch-up by evening. Aim for small sips every 30 to 60 minutes, rather than gulping a full glass in one sitting. Then, in the evening, instead of plain water, try what I call peaceful water. It's simple, a small glass of room temperature water with a pinch of sea salt, not table salt, and a drop of honey. The salt adds electrolytes that support muscle relaxation and nerve function, while honey provides a gentle blood sugar stabilizer, helping you avoid those jittery, restless feelings. If you're avoiding sugar, a squeeze of lemon offers similar benefits with natural potassium. And don't forget to keep water by your bedside. Use a small covered cup with a straw easy to sip, without fully waking up or sitting up. It also prevents dust from settling in overnight. It might sound small, but that one adjustment has helped many of my patients sleep through the night, without that annoying dry mouth wake up. Take Janet, for example, a 74-year-old gardener from Northern California. She thought her sleep disruptions were just part of getting older. But when we reviewed her habits, it turned out she drank most of her fluids after dinner. Once she spaced her water out through the day and added peaceful water to her evening, her 3 a.m. wake-ups nearly disappeared. I didn't realize how dehydrated I'd been until I finally wasn't, she laughed. If you find yourself waking up parched every night, or noticing swelling in your feet and ankles, bring it up with your doctor. Persistent thirst can sometimes be a symptom of underlying conditions like diabetes or kidney issues. It's worth checking in. Sometimes the path to better sleep doesn't lie in pills or gadgets, but in learning to listen to what your body is quietly asking for. In many cases, it's not shouting, it's whispering. And the whisper might be, I just need a little water. Have you noticed a link between hydration and your sleep patterns? Share your experience in the comments. Your insights could be just what someone else needs to hear. It's 4:15 in the morning. Your mind, uninvited and unrelenting, has decided it's time to replay every missed appointment, awkward conversation, and to-do list item from the past month. You're not just awake, you're wide awake, stuck in mental overdrive, while the rest of the world sleeps peacefully. But here's a gentle solution that often flies under the radar: the power of sound. You see, your brain is a bit like a guard dog. It's loyal, protective, and always on the lookout for potential threats. During the day, it's kept busy by conversations, chores, and responsibilities. But at night, when all is still, it starts sniffing around for things to worry about, and it often finds them. This is where sound comes in. Not noise, but intentional, soothing audio that gives your brain a new, peaceful focus. In fact, research from the American Academy of Sleep Medicine shows that consistent, calming background noise can reduce the time it takes to fall asleep by up to 38% and improve sleep continuity. Nature sounds, rainfall, ocean waves, gentle wind through trees are some of the most effective. Our ancestors fell asleep to these sounds for thousands of years. They tap into something ancient in us, something safe. That's why audio apps like Rain or Calm offer entire libraries of rainstorms, waves lapping on shores, or birds in distant forests. If nature isn't your thing, white noise or its deeper cousin, brown noise can work wonders. These neutral, consistent tones mask sudden sounds like a car door slamming or a neighbor's dog barking, preventing those disruptions from fully waking you. Some people find brown noise more relaxing because of its deeper frequency, like a distant waterfall or a low thunder rumble. For others, a calming voice is key. Guided relaxation, especially body scans or gentle sleep meditations, can anchor your attention and soothe anxiety. It's like having a kind friend talking you through each breath, reminding your muscles to soften and your mind to let go. Then there are bedtime stories for grown-ups. Not thrillers or dramas, but low stakes, meandering tales designed to wander off mid-thought. Podcasts like Nothing Much Happens or Sleepy feature slow-paced stories told in hushed tones that help redirect your mind away from the chaos. Take Joyce, a retired librarian from Vermont. For years, she woke up at 3 a.m., mind racing. Her daughter suggested a simple ocean sounds playlist. At first, I thought it was silly, Joyce said, but it reminded me of summers we spent at Cape Cod when my kids were little. I could almost hear the seagulls in the distance. Now, she falls asleep listening to waves and hasn't had a restless night in months. If you try using sound to help you sleep, consistency is key. Use a sleep timer so the sound fades after 30 to 60 minutes. Keep the volume low, just enough to blend into the background. And choose a speaker setup that works for you. A bedside machine, small Bluetooth speaker, or even sleep-specific earbuds designed for comfort. Your perfect sound may take a little experimenting to find, but when you do, it can feel like someone flipped a switch in your mind. Suddenly, the noise in your head quiets, and sleep arrives not as a struggle, but as a gentle return. Have you found a sound that helps you sleep? Share it in the comments. Your solution might be exactly what someone else has been searching for in their quietest hours. It's 3:47 a.m., The digits on your alarm clock glow like a silent countdown, mocking your every attempt to drift back into sleep. You try to bargain with your mind. If I fall asleep right now, I'll still get 4 hours. You shift, you sigh, you close your eyes tighter, but sleep retreats further the more you chase it. Here's something counterintuitive, but powerful. Maybe the answer isn't in fighting wakefulness, but in welcoming it. Modern culture has convinced us that a good night's sleep must be 8 uninterrupted hours. But throughout history, before electricity changed our nights, people often experienced what scientists now call segmented sleep, 2 distinct sleep periods, with a calm, wakeful hour in between. This midnight pause was seen as normal. People prayed, journaled, even visited neighbors. Dr. Roger E. Kirch, a sleep historian at Virginia Tech, uncovered hundreds of historical references to this first and second sleep pattern. It wasn't a flaw, it was natural human rhythm. So, if you're waking in the night, it doesn't mean something's broken. It may mean your body is returning to its roots. The harder we try to force sleep, the more we activate stress hormones like cortisol. That makes your heart beat faster, your breath shallower, and your brain even more alert. It's like yelling at a child to calm down. It rarely works. Instead, what if you allowed this time to become a soft pause, a sacred intermission, rather than a problem to solve? Here's what I call the peaceful wakefulness plan. It turns a restless moment into a quiet ritual. 1. Permission first. Tell yourself, it's okay that I'm awake. My body knows what it's doing. Just this small act of acceptance can loosen the tension that keeps you wired. 2. Step out gently. If you're still awake after 20 minutes, slip out of bed. Go to a cozy chair nearby. Wrap yourself in a soft throw. Keep the lights dim. 3. Do something gentle, not stimulating. Read a comforting book, write in a small journal, or sip a warm, non-caffeinated drink like chamomile tea. Avoid phones, bright screens, or anything mentally demanding. Or 4. Practice the long sigh. Breathing inhale through your nose for 4 seconds. Exhale slowly through your mouth with a soft sigh for 6. Do this for 2-3 minutes. This breathing calms the vagus nerve, which signals your body to relax. 5. Wait for the next sleep wave. Like waves in the ocean, drowsiness returns in cycles. When your eyes grow heavy and thoughts get slower, quietly return to bed. Ride the wave back to sleep. Tom, a 71-year-old former postmaster in Iowa, told me how he used to dread his 3:30 a.m. wake-ups. He'd stare at the ceiling, calculating lost hours, stewing in frustration. One night, he decided to stop resisting. He got up, made a cup of herbal tea, and sat in his recliner with a favorite book of poems. It felt strange at first, he admitted, but instead of fighting, I was just being. I went back to bed an hour later and didn't even realize I'd fallen asleep again. Now, he keeps a night kit ready, a throw blanket, a calming book, and tea. He calls it his second sleep ritual. If you consistently wake up anxious or unable to return to sleep for long stretches, talk to your doctor. Persistent wakefulness can be linked to anxiety, depression, sleep apnea, or hormonal changes, especially in women over 60. Don't suffer in silence. There's help, and there's hope. Waking up in the night doesn't have to mean defeat. With a shift in mindset and a few gentle tools, these quiet hours can become a moment of peace, reflection, even comfort. Instead of seeing it as a problem to fix, what if you saw it as a quiet gift? Have you ever found comfort in the stillness of night? Share your story in the comments. Your peaceful ritual might be exactly what someone else needs.